I love energy drinks, but I'm also on a mission to find out everything about having more energy in a day. Not the drink, but physical and mental energy. I researched different topics like lifestyle, diet, exercise, purpose, habits, and so much more to be more energetic. And lately I've been really looking into energy drinks because I like having them, but I wasn't really sure how healthy they are. And what I found partially really shocked me. What I mean and what else is important to know if you care about your health, vitality and energy is going to be the topic of today's video. So what even is an energy drink? This is the first thing that really surprised me, and I want to make sure we're clear here. So let's look into this. There is a definition on the internet which I found quite funny, and it says that an energy drink first has the intent to increase energy. Okay, intent? Okay. Anyways, second of all, has at least one ingredient that is known to increase energy, so that's mostly going to be your caffeine. And third, energy is a perceived increase in mental stamina, mental efficiency and mental alertness. So if you actually look closer, and this is kind of weird, purely physical energy boosts don't even qualify.
What?
Like, what the fuck? And if you have an energy increase, but you don't perceive it, it also doesn't qualify. Guys, what? I don't know about you, but to me, this smells like a scam. But maybe let's look more closer. So with that definition out of the way, let's take a look at how energy drinks actually work. I think this is going to be pretty important. First of all, we have to say it as it is. An energy drink is a stimulant of the central nervous system. It is a drug. That's just what it is. And especially with the very common combination of sugar and caffeine, you get a typical swing and crash. So it is good for a short-term energy boost or being more alert, but it also is like a credit card. It's a stolen metaphor I got from Dr. Stan Ekberg, but it really does make sense, and it's important to understand this. An energy drink is like a credit card because you don't really have the money, aka the energy, but somehow you can still use it. Somehow you have that money available or that energy, but it is borrowed, and at the same time you will have to pay back, probably also with interest rates on top. So the more you borrow, the more you have to pay back as well. And this is a basic system that you need to understand and keep in mind. This is probably one of the most important things to know about caffeine and energy drinks. But at the same time, a credit card ain't all bad, right? What are the benefits of energy drinks? That's what we're going to look at now. Then we're going to look at the drawbacks, which also includes a very important concept you need to understand. And finally, we conclude what is probably the best practice to handle energy drinks and how I will change my approach to energy drinks as well. So let's look at the benefits. Now, of course, we have the borrowed money, so the energy that I just talked about. Whenever you need energy for a short time because it's really important, an energy drink can help you there.
Nice.
We can't ignore that. For example, if you want to go out with your friends in the evening, but you feel really tired, then an energy drink can wake you up again. Or also if you have a super important workout ahead of you, but you're just super sleepy, tired and you really don't want to go. I wouldn't make this a regular thing, but in that case, an energy drink can help as well. But we're going to talk about the drawbacks later. For those two cases, who are just two examples, this works because energy drinks, and coffee as well, prevent adenosine binding, which is the natural process in your body that makes you feel tired. So because of that, you become more awake, more alert, and also feel more energetic as well. Also, physical performance has been proved in studies, and a study also found improved reaction time. But also studies in the same meta-analysis found no physical performance improvements. So it kind of feels like an unsure thing from a scientific standpoint. And that's the problem with studies again. If you want to prove a specific point, there will almost always be a study proving that. But maybe this is a good point for me to include my own personal experience. And if you go to the gym, you might relate to this. If you would ask me if having an energy drink improves my physical performance, I would definitely say yes. It's a bit bro science, but I'm almost 100% sure. especially stamina-wise, I definitely feel the difference. And whenever I have an energy drink before the gym, my workouts are always better than without an energy drink. That might be dangerous, but that's also the truth. At least definitely for me. But to get back to some actual scientific studies, they have found improved cognitive function and mood in partially sleep-deprived individuals who drank energy drinks. Also, other studies declared caffeine as a net positive, and also that it has clear beneficial effects on attention, as well as other multiple studies showing higher caffeine consumption led to decreased probability of depression symptoms, but probably only to a certain point, because as another study revealed, the likelihood of suicide when caffeine consumption was really high started to increase again, while the likelihood of low to normal caffeine consumption was lower than no caffeine consumption. So no matter how you put it, caffeine and energy drinks do seem to have some benefits. But I was wondering, do the potential drawbacks outweigh those benefits? Surely, especially an energy drink probably isn't super healthy, right? So how bad are energy drinks really? Let's take a look. Now, one of the probably biggest caffeine drawbacks is worse sleep. That's just how it is. Especially if you take caffeine in the evening or generally before you go to bed, it's going to negatively impact your sleep. And this has been proven as well. It prevents adenosine binding, like I said before, and it takes a couple of hours to leave your system. The half-life of caffeine is 6 to 7 hours, so your sleep will suffer if you don't pay attention. Also, another very well-known drawback is the higher likelihood of anxiety in people with high caffeine consumption. And the thing is, I could now tell you multiple different studies that talk about multiple different drawbacks and kind of shape it how I want it to look like. For example, like its bad impact on your respiratory system. But in the end, I think one of the most important things that you need to pay attention to is going to be this. Cross-sectional studies like this one, examining about 15,000 Americans, found that after adjusting for socioeconomic factors, that students with high caffeine intake are more likely to be tired in the morning. And other studies revealed that feeling tired in the morning led to higher caffeine use. This in turn impaired your subsequent sleep patterns, and you'd end up feeling more tired the next morning.
Oh shit, here we go again.
And this is the coffee cycle. You could probably also call it the caffeine cycle. And exactly this, in my opinion, probably is the biggest problem. Don't fall into the caffeine cycle. Always leave some time before bed with no caffeine, and also wait before your first caffeine of the day for 90 minutes after you wake up. This will be super important to never get into this destructive cycle. But what I do additionally is to vary a lot with my caffeine intake. One day I will have caffeine 90 minutes after I wake up, another day 3 hours after I wake up. One day I will have 200 milligrams of caffeine, and another day 400, and the next day 100. I don't really pay too much attention to that, but it just happens, also partly because I want it to happen like that. But I believe it really helps me to not fall into this destructive caffeine cycle. And if you ask me, you should do that too. Because I know what it's like to be in that coffee cycle, where you are tired because you don't get good sleep, because you had caffeine the last day, and then you have more caffeine the next day. Then you have it too late in the evening, and then you have even more the next day. That's not a long-term solution, and you know it. So don't fall into this cycle. Also, of course, most energy drinks have a lot of sugar. And of course, you probably know too that sugar isn't really going to make you more healthy. You get increased risk of diabetes and obesity. Another study revealed a 2.4 increase in dental erosion, which I don't want either. And it's generally known that refined sugar is bad for you. And of course, energy drinks are no exception. And actually, the sugar might be the main problem. I could now tell you 100 ways of how sugar negatively impacts you. It's going to destroy your health, your vitality, and your energy as well. And your looks, and your motivation, and probably a couple of other things as well. But I kind of believe if you watch my channel, you know that already. If not, I'm going to summarize it for you. Sugar is bad. Understood? Good. Let's move on. Now, if you get an energy drink like a Red Bull Zero, this is not zero, but yeah, you will also have a lot of artificial sweeteners in there as well. And the thing is, that's probably not really better either. Studies revealed that artificial sweetened beverages, so your Red Bull Zero, led to sugar cravings and dependence, appetite stimulation, weight gain, and glucose intolerance. And if you know that stereotype that only fat people drink Coke Zero, there is probably some truth to that. Some argue artificial sweeteners are just as bad as sugar, maybe even worse. And honestly, I don't know. I'm not sure. I just know, and that's enough for me, that it's not really healthy either. So maybe stay away from that too. Also, in general, we have so many ingredients in those energy drinks that we don't really know what they actually do and how they really impact your health. And my approach is, when in doubt, it's probably always better to stick to less ingredients. That's also why I believe a plant-based burger with 70 ingredients might be more risky than a real burger with 1 ingredient.
How dare you!
It doesn't have to be, but when you read the ingredients and you have no idea what that is, it's probably, at least sometimes, not a good thing. Also, diseases like dementia, diabetes, heart disease, those take decades. And this is a very important thing to consider. Just because you have no symptoms right now, for example from your energy drink consumption or also your diet, this doesn't mean that you are healthy. So be careful. Also, lifestyle will always play a huge role in this. 1 energy drink a day might be much worse for the guy who's at home all day, who doesn't socialize, who doesn't leave his house, who plays video games 10 hours a day and who eats like shit, compared to the guy who's working out, who's socializing, who eats healthily, who meditates, goes hiking and all those things. You get my point, right? Bad health is often a sum of bad lifestyle choices. So if you really want an energy drink, maybe make other good lifestyle choices, like a good diet and working out, for example. But who is at risk? And what will be my change? After reading probably 15 to 20 studies, how will I change my behavior? That's what we're going to talk about now. But first, let's talk about who is at risk, because chances are you might not be in the same spot that I am. So of course, those with other bad lifestyle choices will always be more at risk. I just talked about that. Also, studies found that energy drink users are more likely to drink, smoke, and or be overweight. So maybe it actually will lead to bad lifestyle choices as well. So don't fall into this trap, okay? Also, energy drink users could be considered a risk group for alcohol abuse, and especially, and I read this a lot, kids and adolescents are especially at risk. Many studies addressed this. So if you are below 18, maybe just skip the energy drink. Some researchers suggest limiting caffeine consumption in those young people, especially energy drinks. The 10% of children and adolescents who consume a liter and more of energy drinks within a few hours should be seen as a high-risk group, says BFR President Professor Dr. Andreas Hensel. But yeah, don't drink a liter of energy drinks. Also, another very important point to discuss is that mixing energy drinks and alcohol seems to be very bad as well. This one and other studies too showed dramatically higher rates of serious alcohol-related consequences. That's how they put it. It masks the signs of alcohol intoxication and it leads to increased dehydration, alcohol consumption, longer and more severe hangovers, as well as increased engagement in risky behaviors such as drunk driving and violence.
It's not looking good, bruv.
That's sad to hear, honestly, because I honestly love energy drinks with alcohol. Like Jägermeister with Red Bull really just hits much better than vodka orange juice. But now I know why. I don't know how to deal with this. But what will be my change? I think that's an interesting question. Like I said, I've read a lot of studies about this topic in the last couple of days. And I definitely learned some new things. But of course, you and I both know that energy drinks probably aren't healthy. We don't drink them to improve our health, right? Yet, I want to be a bit more responsible myself. I want to slowly drink them a bit less. I definitely understand the concept now, that it's borrowed energy, you're paying an interest rate, which increases the more you borrow, and you will have to pay back. I will try to use it only when I really want or need it, if I ever actually need it. That's probably open for discussion, but you know what I mean, right? Sometimes an energy drink would just really help, and I think that's fine. I do have other healthy lifestyle choices, like working out, having a pretty decent diet, and generally being quite fit. How much energy I will drink is therefore also going to be tough to say. Drinking it daily is definitely too much in my opinion. If you want caffeine every day, definitely go for a coffee instead. It's going to be healthier than an energy drink. I will try about 2 times per week, or less of course. Whether that's good, I don't know. I'm not sure. But I think twice a week to have one energy drink, like maximum half a liter, probably isn't going to be too problematic. Also, especially when my other lifestyle choices remain quite healthy. And maybe I will also have energy with alcohol a little bit less. I'm not really sure yet. I just like this combination. When I drink, I really enjoy it with energy, but we'll see. I'll try to improve. But of course, there are also many other ways to increase your energy as well. Ingesting caffeine into your body is not the only way. What exactly you can do and what is really promising is what I'm talking about on my channel. So if you want to be more vital, more healthy, and especially more energetic, definitely feel free to subscribe and then watch my other videos if you want to, like this one for example, or this one about one of the best energy foods, and maybe I'll see you there. Have a great day, take your magnesium, and bye!